I started getting VB like constantly. I would go in to the doctor, it would go away for a week, and then as soon as I had sex, it would come back again. I was having a lot of itching, a lot of swelling down there. So that's why I took a chance on Happy Bee. Within the first month, the itching subsided significantly and like the swelling went away almost immediately. And things are getting much better. I started perimenopause. And as part of that process, my body was changing wildly. And on top of it, I ended up getting put on estrogen to help to control night sweats and hot flashes and that sort of stuff. During that process, suddenly, about a year ago, I started getting VB like constantly. I would go in to the doctor, I'd get a prescription for an antibiotic, I would take it, go through that entire process. It would go away for a week, maybe two if I was lucky. And then as soon as I had sex, it would come back again. And it was very problematic. I'm married, and so like I enjoy a rich and full sex life. And it was just I was embarrassed by the stains in my underpants, the discharge. I was always worried, like, what if there was a lot, if I was wearing a bathing suit out at the pool or something like that. And then on top of it, I started also getting vaginal thinning. And so I was getting micro tears on the inside. And that combined with the VB was incredibly uncomfortable. I was having a lot of itching, a lot of swelling down there, and it was just getting more exasperated as I went through this process. And I eventually got to a point where I was like, I need more than just getting antibiotics. I tried some other things like taking baths in vinegar. I looked at boric acid. That seemed really something I didn't want to do. Putting that in there, that seemed very uncomfortable. And so I was looking for some other holistic alternatives to it. And what my doctor had told me is that taking the estrogen supplement also then creates a situation where my flora is more likely to be damaged in the process of having sexual intimacy. And so it would make me more likely to continue to have VB problems. I saw no good effects from that. And so then I started buying other ones online, finding different ones. I would do the research. And that's when I found your brand, the Happy V. One of the things that I drew me most to you is that you had actual clinical information and studies where you're citing like people actually getting better from them. And I found that very exciting. Some of the other companies on the market have very tongue-in-cheek commercials that though they might catch your attention, they just didn't seem to be like substantiated in science. And so I wanted something that I felt like I could really trust and had evidence to back it up. So that's why I took a chance on Happy Bee. And lo and behold, it was amazing. Within the first month, I started seeing significant differences, like the itching subsided significantly and like the swelling went away almost immediately. I'm now on my third month of it and things are getting much better. I still sometimes will have a little bit of discharge, but generally speaking, I am in so much better physical condition. Like I feel much better down there than I ever had. It was getting really bad. And it's so embarrassing. Like when you feel like you have to constantly itch and you're out in public, it's very embarrassing.
Yes, yes. Oh my goodness. Thank you for sharing all of that. So relatable. And yeah, no, I feel you. Yeah, what do you do when you have to itch? You turn away in a corner or something? I don't know. So it's so hard, especially if you're wearing like leggings or working out, like something like this. It makes it tighter and more itchier, I feel like. So
Right.
yes, thank you again for sharing all of that. That was a great just overview recap of your story. I would love to just hear a little bit more, yeah, back when you were discovering all of that and what was going on for you. First of all, like how did that all make you feel? And you mentioned a few different solutions that you tried. I know you maybe mentioned like going to your doctor. Just would love to know more about that journey, part of your journey.
So, going to my doctor, she had gone through menopause a long time ago and was not very sympathetic about the pains that I was going through. And she was just like, this is just like something that you're going to have to deal with, and it might last for a while. And that was heartbreaking to me. Like, I didn't want to have to be on and off of antibiotics for years of my life, besides just it being inconvenient. Plus, the antibiotic that you're on, I do enjoy having a glass of wine or a cocktail on occasion, but that type of antibiotic you can't drink with. So, like, I was spending most of that year not drinking because I was on the antibiotic the whole time. And I just really felt like lost and alone. There wasn't a lot of support for me that I was getting from women in my life because none of them knew what to do about this. In fact, my mother-in-law, when I talked to her about it, she was like, "It will just eventually go away." It's like,
Yeah, okay,
I
I'm supposed
don't
to
know.
suffer for however long, and yeah, that's not what I wanna hear.
So I needed to take some sort of proactive action on this. I must have been on, I don't know, 8 times, 7 times of antibiotics over the course of that year before I found this product. And
Oh.
so that was, like, really overwhelming. It also gets pricey. I have insurance, but, like, I'm still having to pay for it every time I go there. I would rather have something that I can take every day, and then it preemptively is going to prevent that from happening. I feel like that's a much better cost value for this. Also, like, the itching was just incredibly, like, it was unsatiable, and I do good during the day when I was awake, but at night I would itch, and, like, then that would cause more problems, right? It's more sore, more irritated, and the doctor really didn't have a lot of options for me. She recommended that I sleep with gloves on my hands.
I've
I don't
never
know.
heard of that one.
Gloves or socks, she said socks are doable too. So
Oh,
this is like what
yeah.
you're telling me is my, like, long-term option is I can sleep with things on my hands and just deal with the itching and being on antibiotics all the time. Yeah, that wasn't gonna work for me.
No, I don't wanna put words in your mouth, but when I've gone through health things like that too, it's like you just feel something in the pit of your stomach of, "This isn't right." Like, this there has to be something I'm missing here or something else, like, going on, but this just isn't sitting well with me.
That's exactly how I felt. Oh my god.
Yeah, just this, like, gut feeling where you're like, "Okay, no, there has to be something else out there. I'm gonna go look or go to someone else or whatever." Okay, and then so yeah, that makes you feel alone and just that's hard, and like you said, it's hard to get a lot of support from other people in your life, safe places that you can know go to and just have open communication about it. It is very difficult to find those people, but and you said it did impact some of your relationships, and I know you mentioned, like, you're married and just that can be hard to walk through.
My husband is a wonderful man and always very understanding. But despite the fact that he's understanding, I was still embarrassed by it. If go out on a date night and then you come home and you're wanting to get intimate, but then you're like, I don't want to see him to see me in my underwear because there might be stains on it from the issues. And so then I would have to rush to the bathroom, make sure that I was cleaned up and change my clothes and changing my undergarments, which is you can set it off. Oh, I'm having a like little sexy time, put on something cute. But still, like the fact that every single time I had to be cognizant of that in order to ensure my own like emotional safety, right, in the situation. Not that he would have ever said anything, but I would prefer that everything looked pristine when I went into those moments, right?
Yes. Yeah, and yeah, obviously it hurts your, like, self-confidence, and usually we're the ones thinking of it so much more than other people around us, but it's hard to not tap into that and all of that
Right.
for sure, yeah, so I'm glad he was understanding and you felt safe with him with all of that. So, would love to hear how did you exactly hear about Happy Bee?
So it started off, I was doing just some like research. I was Googling. I'm sure at that point, maybe Happy V had come up on my Google searches. But then after that, I started getting ads on all of my social medias and for a plethora of different types of products, dozens and dozens of brands out there. And again, that's where I was like confronted with some of those like ads where I was like, that it's funny, but are you really founded in science? Is this stuff backed up with something to like give me some sort of credibility, reassurance in your product? And I found that a lot of the places when I would click to their link and go to their page, they were not offering that sort of information. Or if they did, it was like very scant, like the groups of people that they were like getting numbers off of were very small. It just didn't seem very well cited, a lot of that information. And so in that process, your company actually started also advertising on my social media. And I really liked your commercial specifically because you were talking about your personal struggle with it. And you were talking about how you and your partner created these formulas together and you've been trying them out and testing them. And you've had many years where you've been working on this. I felt much more reassured that this product was something that was made more for me and my chemistry, and it was going to be safe for me to take. So I really appreciated your take on how you're advertising all of that information and then providing it on your website, nice and clear, easy to find. It's not like I had to shuffle through the back pages. It was right on the front and had easy click through links. It was very user friendly. So all of those things were different aspects that convinced me that this was the product that I should try out.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I love hearing Danny and Hans are our founders. And yeah, just their story is so relatable. And it came from a real problem that they were struggling with. And I think sometimes that's the best way to help other people when you walk through that as well. Yeah, love their story. And thanks for sharing. And yes, we pride ourselves in being clinically proven and studied and know that is so important. And we want to be, yeah, just upfront and transparent about what we're using in our products and really believe that's what sets us apart than from other people on the market. Just the different strains that we have listed. There's no blends or question marks of what's all in there. So I love that's important to you and that, yeah, was great for you. Okay, so how you said you've been taking Happy V for 3 months. Would love just to hear your experience and everything so far with that.
Yeah, so they're gel caps. They're super easy to take. They are a little larger than if you're taking Tylenol, but it's still totally swallowable. I had no problems taking the pills. I usually take them with my breakfast. It's directed that you take them with food on the product. And so I always make sure that I just have them with a meal. If I happen to skip breakfast, then I'll have them at lunch, but consistency obviously is going to help that to be more effective. So I try to make sure to always take them before noon every day. And you take 2 pills, which seems completely reasonable to me. I suppose after taking them, maybe it was like week 2, I started having less spotting, and
Mhm.
that was really helpful. That was the major component that was, like, most noticeable. Like, the itch was really bad, but, like, the spotting was getting out of hand. Because my doctor had directed that I wear completely cotton underwear, I had been following that advice, but cotton underwear are not as comfortable in in some situations under some garments. They don't work very well. So I am happy that now I can wear a variety of underwear. That makes me a lot happier.
Yeah, the little things, but big things.
And
Yeah,
that's the other thing. Why are cotton underwear, 100% cotton underwear, so big usually? It's hard to find small ones that fit
right.
underneath like
Or like,
fitted pants.
yeah, they're not stretchy or and they're not seamless, so you can see them through everything. Yeah.
Exactly. So not the most comfortable underpants to
Yeah.
wear, but
And
yeah.
just for those who are going to be listening, can you just share what product you're taking from Happy V?
Yeah, I take the Happy V in the blue bottle.
The pre and probiotic, right?
Pre and probiotics.
Okay. Awesome.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm like, we know what we're talking about, just to
Right.
know which one to use. Awesome. Have you tried any other Happy V products yet?
I have not.
No. Okay. Awesome. We have a menopause product. So I know we talked about that a little bit. I'll have to
Mhm.
share more of that with you offline. But what were there any like key ingredients or anything else that really stood out to you compared to other things on the market?
I really liked it that the aesthetic of the container is very clean and nice looking, and so I don't feel bad if it happens to be sitting out on my counter. Some of the products, when I looked at the packaging that are available, seem a little like, again, to go with their tongue in cheek sort of advertising campaigns, it'll be like that on the bag too. So I don't want that sitting on my counter if I have people coming over to my house or whatever, where I feel like this is very clean looking, it looks nice. I also appreciated that when the tariffs first started, that I got emails from Happy Fee telling me that they pre-bought as many of their ingredients as they could. They're going to try to make sure that they are not putting those extra costs on the customers, which I really appreciated. Also, they're changing the color of the lid so that way they're more easily accessible and then again, not having to pass more cost on to the customer. So I appreciate them taking those sorts of things into consideration as things are getting more and more expensive right now.
Yeah, no, thanks for sharing that and just the feedback with that. And yeah, trying to do everything we can to not raise prices because we know this economy can be hard. And yeah, that's something else that we pride ourselves in. And just even me working here, it sets us apart from other products or other companies is that we own our manufacturing. So yeah, we have control over that, buying it and we know what's going in, and we can make those decisions on our own to make it the best for our customers. So thanks for saying that and just recognizing that's awesome.
It's
That's
amazing.
important too.
I appreciate it.
Yes, that's awesome. I know we can keep talking for a while here,
Yeah.
but just a few more questions. Would love to know just how Happy V has positively impacted your life, your self-esteem from some of those issues and things that you were worrying about before. Just, yeah, where are you at now?
I feel so much more confident, especially when I'm going out like in a light colored pants or going to like the water park. Summertime just started. And so I had my first weekend at the water park this last weekend. And I didn't have to like rush to the bathroom to check to make sure I'm not spotting on my swimsuit every hour or so. I felt confident to just go and enjoy myself. And I didn't have to think about my problems down there. Like, it was so freeing, and that was, like, literally the best part, was just being able to be free and not have to, like, constantly have that, like, weighing on top of my shoulders where, "Do I need to go to the bathroom again? Maybe I need to stand up. I should have somebody check the back of my skirt." You know what I mean? That stuff was happening quite often, and I didn't want that to be an issue. Not that I had a lot of issues with it, but I was always concerned that I would, so
It's in your
wanted my
head for sure. Yeah.
also, the odor has completely gone away. I don't have to worry about any sort of odor like that, which was concerning when you went into a public bathroom. If there were other stalls in the bathroom, or can other people smell me? It was very concerning. That was concerning for me. So,
Oh. How has it helped your relationship with your husband?
well, I feel much more confident if we want to, after date night and we get home, we can be enthusiastic right away. So that's always a nice thing.
Love it. That's awesome. Yes. And you said it also helped with swelling with the itching and the tears that you were experiencing too?
Yeah, so I'm still getting some micro tears and I'm starting a new hormonal cream for that. But generally speaking, that is the only thing. I'm only getting spotting from the micro tears now. And so there's no more of the VB coming out anymore. And that seems to be have fixed itself. So yeah, there was a lot of swelling. And actually, part of the reason that this had started, like I had noticed that I had this discharge when I went to the doctor the very first time, but also I was having so much itching and it wasn't just around my vaginal area either. It was like up around my anus and the perineum and all of those areas down there. And I was very confused by it. And my doctor, in fact, was confused by it too. Like I got diagnosed with the VB right away, but then also she was like, maybe you also have a fungal infection on your anus area. And I was like, what? Is that a thing? And so for a while, I was treating that with a fungal cream, and that was just exasperating the problem. So Happy Bee has really helped with that. Like all of that swelling's gone. The itching is very minimal now. It seems like in a much more normal place and it's not like a constant thing. And I'm not having those issues overnight any longer where I wake up and I have been itching myself and I've hurt myself.
Yeah. And thank goodness you wear socks to bed on your hands.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. How do you envision incorporating Happy V into your long-term wellness plans?
So far, I have been buying it monthly, but I'm going to go ahead and sign up for the subscription now. So It'll
Yeah.
be a lot easier. I don't have to remember to order it then. And yeah, I just integrated into my daily pill taking routine with my vitamins and stuff. And I take it with me when I go on vacation inside of my pill planner, measured out for each of the days. And I plan to continue doing that for the long term. I don't see a reason to stop.
Mhm.
So I definitely don't want those symptoms to come back.
Yeah. I love what you said about a while back, but to do things preventive and not when something's going wrong, then try to find something or put a band-aid on it. But like you said, do it ahead of time and get to the root cause of it so you don't have to experience or even go near to maybe experiencing those things. So that's a great plan.
Right, exactly.
Yes. One last question I love to end with everyone is if you could go back and talk to Devin a couple, I don't know, months ago, or even just someone else that is going through something like this too, and give some advice and some encouragement, what would you say?
I would say do your research first. Make sure you find a good product. Like I would promote Happy V to them, but I think that it's important that each person goes and reads the information themselves and makes the best choice for themselves. And then give it a chance. Stuff takes a while sometimes. It doesn't always. I was surprised with how quickly this worked. I was expecting it to be like 2, 3 months in before I saw any sort of like changes, but it actually did within the first couple of weeks. And so I would say just give it time to work and do its thing and then assess it. I really like when I have issues like that, I like to make myself like a list of goals. Like, what are the goals that I want? And then if I do, this is what I'm hoping. And then I go back and I look at that information in my journal and I'm like, so I'm taking this and it's been this many weeks now. Have I accomplished any of these goals on this list?
Mm.
Has it been working well? And when I went back and did my first like thorough review, I was like I have over half of these things have been corrected or are getting better. This clearly is changing how my biology works and it's changing how my body is doing and reacting to aging and going through menopause and all of that. So it's been a godsend. Oh my God. I don't plan on going back.